Betrayal. It doesn't come from your enemies. It comes from those you once trusted the most. The friend who promised loyalty but disappeared when you fell. The person who said, "I'll never hurt you," and then did. The ones who smiled to your face while planting doubts behind your back. You remember the day, don't you? The silence after the truth came out. The hollow chest. The disbelief. The way your mind kept replaying every word, every gesture, every "I've got your back," now echoing with irony. And you asked yourself, why? Why would someone I trusted turn against me? Why would someone who once knew my soul choose to wound it? Today, you'll get your answer. Not through emotion, not through revenge, but through Stoic philosophy, the timeless discipline that teaches you how to rise above the trail with strength, dignity, and calm. Because the Stoic does not crumble when deceived. He observes, understands, and becomes untouchable. So, if you've ever been betrayed, and I know you have, stay with me, because by the end of this video, you'll know how to respond to betrayal the Stoic way. And more importantly, you'll understand how to walk away in peace while your betrayer drowns in their own chaos. Let's begin with truth. Betrayal isn't just an act, it's an awakening. You see, betrayal strips away illusions. It removes the masks of friendship, love, loyalty, and shows people as they truly are. Painful, yes, but what the Stoics knew, and what few of us realize, is that truth, no matter how cruel, is better than comfort built on lies. Seneca once said, "No one can betray you unless you first trust them." And to trust is to be noble. Think about that. Your pain is not proof of weakness. It's evidence of your virtue. You were open. You believed. You cared. That's not something to be ashamed of. That's something to be proud of. Because betrayal doesn't define your character. It exposes theirs. When someone chooses deceit over honesty, manipulation over integrity, they reveal what they truly value. And that truth, though painful, is freedom. But here's the catch. Most people don't stop there. They drown in their anger. They let the betrayal consume them. They play the story over and over again, turning the wound into a weapon they aim at themselves. The Stoic doesn't do that. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "When someone does you wrong, the fault lies with them, not you. Their actions are their own burden. You need only guard your own mind." That's the essence of Stoic freedom, guarding your peace no matter what others do. So today, I'll teach you 3 Stoic responses to betrayal. 3 ways to stand calm when others turn against you. Not with bitterness, but with quiet power. Not to hurt them, but to rise above them.
First, I expected this. The first shock of betrayal always comes from surprise. I can't believe they did this to me. But the Stoic expects the flaws of human nature. Epictetus taught, "When you kiss your child, remind yourself that you are kissing a mortal." That's not coldness, it's realism. The Stoic prepares the mind for impermanence, for loss, change, and yes, betrayal. So, when someone deceives you, instead of saying, "I can't believe this happened," say calmly, "Of course, people act according to their nature." You're not excusing their act, you're freeing yourself from shock, because shock is pain multiplied by expectation. Marcus Aurelius began each morning by saying to himself, "Today I will meet people who are selfish, ungrateful, deceitful, arrogant, jealous, and rude. They are so because they cannot tell good from evil." That's not pessimism. That's armor. When betrayal comes, you don't collapse. You nod. You accept. You say, I expected this. I was simply hoping to be proven wrong. And that mindset changes everything. Because now, betrayal doesn't break you. It simply reveals what you already knew, that not everyone shares your values. This is emotional immunity, the ability to stand calm in chaos. Not because you're numb, but because you've trained your mind to accept what reality offers. The first Stoic response to betrayal is not anger, but understanding. It's the quiet recognition. People act from their own wounds. Their actions reflect them, not me. You don't need revenge. You don't even need closure. You just need clarity. Second Stoic response. They've given me a gift. Now that may sound absurd at first. How can betrayal be a gift? Because it reveals the truth, because it purifies your circle, because it teaches you the priceless lesson of discernment. Every betrayal removes one false friend, one illusion, one distraction from your path. And that's worth more than gold. Seneca said, "The wise man suffers no harm, for even in suffering, he finds wisdom." You might have lost a relationship, a friend, a position of trust, but what you gained is vision. You now see who is real and who is pretending. You can't buy that kind of clarity. You can't learn it from books. You earn it through pain. And once you've seen the truth, no one can deceive you in the same way again. You've evolved. When someone betrays you, the Stoic doesn't curse them. He says silently, "Thank you. You've shown me what I needed to see." That's not sarcasm. That's wisdom. It's the recognition that every painful lesson refines your character. You learn boundaries. You learn emotional independence. You learn that peace doesn't come from loyalty around you. It comes from stability within you. When betrayal comes, and it will, the Stoic sees it as the universe's way of saying, "Look closely. This person was never meant to walk your next chapter." You can grieve. You can feel the sting. But never forget, they've done you a strange favor. They've freed you from the illusion. The second Stoic response to betrayal is gratitude. Not for the act, but for the awakening.
Third Stoic response. I release you. This is the highest response, the one that marks the true Stoic. To release means to let go without bitterness. To say, I see what you did, and I choose peace over revenge. Because holding resentment is like carrying poison, hoping the other person will suffer. The only one who truly suffers is you. Epictetus taught, when another blames you or wrongs you, remember, they act from what they think is right. You cannot control their opinion, only your response. The Stoic doesn't chase apologies. He doesn't demand justice. He releases. He moves forward. Not because he forgets, but because he refuses to carry what no longer belongs to him. Forgiveness in Stoic philosophy is not about letting them off the hook. It's about letting yourself off the chain. The third Stoic response is detachment. To look at the person who betrayed you and think, I wish you well. I just wish you away from my peace. You close the door, not in hate, but in strength. Because true power is not the ability to strike back, it's the ability to stay calm when provoked. Seneca said it best, the greatest revenge is to be
unlike your enemy. And that's the Stoic victory. Silence, composure, and dignity.
Part 2. The Stoic Path Through Betrayal. Section 1. The Mind's Battlefield.
When betrayal strikes, the real war doesn't happen outside. It happens inside. In your thoughts. In the conversations you replay 1,000 times. In the silent rage that keeps you awake at night. You're not battling the betrayer anymore. You're battling your own attachment to what was. The Stoics called this pathe, the passions that enslave the soul. Anger, resentment, desire for revenge, all forms of attachment to something beyond your control. And what's the first rule of Stoicism? Control what you can. Accept what you can't. You cannot control what others do. You cannot rewrite the moment they lied, betrayed, or walked away. But you can control how long you allow it to live inside your mind. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." That's not just philosophy, it's survival. Because the more you feed the wound, the deeper it cuts. But the more you return to calm reason, the faster it heals. The Stoic knows the betrayer may have hurt you once, but your thoughts can hurt you 1,000 times more. So the next time your mind replays that scene, stop, take a breath, and say, "This moment is no longer happening. It exists only in memory. I choose peace now." That's the Stoic art of inner defense. Not by denying the pain, but by refusing to let it rule you.
Section 2. Turning Pain into Power.
The question isn't, why did this happen to me? The question is, what will I become because of it? That's where Stoicism separates the ordinary from the extraordinary. Betrayal can make you better, or it can make you wise. It can harden your heart, or sharpen your vision. The difference is what you do next. Seneca wrote, "Fire tests gold, adversity tests the brave." And betrayal is that fire. It burns away illusions. It burns away dependency. It burns away the parts of you that once needed validation from others. And what remains is pure, a stronger, calmer, wiser you. Think of it like the forging of a sword. The metal screams as it's hammered and heated, but every strike, every burn gives it strength. That's what betrayal does to the soul of the Stoic. It forges it into something unbreakable. So instead of saying, "They destroyed me," you say, "They refined me." Because the Stoic turns every wound into wisdom. That doesn't mean you suppress the pain. It means you transform it. How? Through reflection. Sit with what happened. Write it down. Analyze it calmly. Ask, what weakness in me allowed this betrayal? What sign did I ignore? What can I learn so it never happens the same way again? The Stoic never wastes suffering. Every experience becomes a lesson. Every wound becomes a teacher.
Section 3. The Stoic Mirror. Understanding the Betrayer. Now let's look deeper, not at you, but at them. Why do people betray? Why do they lie, cheat, deceive, and manipulate? Because betrayal is born not from power, but from weakness, from fear, from insecurity, from envy, People betray you not because you're unworthy, but because your light exposes their shadow. Epictetus said, "The one who harms others does so out of ignorance, for no man knowingly chooses evil." To betray means to be lost, to be so blinded by desire or fear that truth no longer matters. And when you understand that, something strange happens. You stop hating them, because you realize they're already suffering. They betrayed you to fill a void that betrayal can never fill. They sought control, validation, superiority, but ended up emptier than before. So the Stoic looks upon the betrayer not with rage, but with pity. Not because he is weak, but because he sees the futility of hatred. Marcus Aurelius said, "When someone wrongs you, consider what they believe is good. Once you see that, you will cease to be astonished or angry." You see, when you understand, you transcend, and that's where your true power lies. In empathy, without attachment. You can say, "I see your reasons. I understand your fear, but I choose not to share your chaos." And with that, you walk away clean. No revenge, no hatred, just peace. That's the Stoic way.
Section 4. Detachment, the ultimate freedom.
Detachment is not coldness, it's clarity. To detach doesn't mean you stop caring. It means you care without clinging. It means you love without losing yourself. It means you give without expecting return. It means you remain kind even when others are cruel, because their actions cannot touch your inner state. Seneca taught, "The wise man is self-sufficient, yet he loves his friends deeply, not because he needs them, but because he chooses them." When betrayal strikes, detachment is your shield. You can still feel sorrow, but you no longer beg for closure. You no longer need their apology to move on. You no longer need them to understand, because your peace no longer depends on them. It depends on you. Think of it like a tree in a storm. The wind howls, branches bend, leaves fly, but the roots remain unshaken. That's what a Stoic heart is. Rooted in reason, grounded in virtue, untouched by the tempests of others. When you reach that state, no betrayal can break you. It can wound you, yes, but it cannot unbalance you, because you've built your stability not on people, but on principles. And principles don't betray.
Section 5. Silence, the Stoic's greatest response.
In a world where everyone wants the last word, the Stoic chooses silence. Why? Because silence terrifies the guilty. It denies them the attention they crave. It forces them to sit alone with their conscience. And more importantly, silence preserves your energy. When you argue, defend, or explain, you're still giving them power. When you stay silent, you reclaim it. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "The best revenge is to be unlike the one who wronged you." You don't post about them. You don't talk behind their back. You don't send long paragraphs demanding justice. You just stay silent and evolve. Because silence speaks louder than any retaliation. It says, "You no longer matter enough to disturb my peace." And that calm composure, that quiet dignity, is what separates the wise from the wounded. When people try to provoke you and you respond with silence, you've already won. Because now they're fighting ghosts. And you're free.
Section 6. The rebuilding phase, becoming whole again.
After betrayal, there's a moment of emptiness. The silence after the storm. The strange calm where you're not sure who to trust. not even yourself. That's where the Stoic rebuilds. He doesn't rush to replace what was lost. He rebuilds his foundation, stronger, higher, calmer. Seneca said, "To bear trials with a calm mind robs misfortune of its strength." The Stoic rebuilds his life around virtue, around self-respect, self-knowledge, and discipline. He asks himself, what kind of person do I want to become from this? And then he starts becoming it. You start with small actions: reading, reflecting, walking, meditating. You choose truth over comfort. You learn solitude without loneliness. You build habits that strengthen your character. Because once you build peace from within, no one can steal it again. The Stoic knows it's not about rebuilding what was lost. It's about building something betrayal can never touch.
Section 7. The higher view. The universe's role.
Sometimes betrayal feels senseless. It feels like cruelty without purpose. But the Stoic sees purpose in everything, even in pain. Marcus Aurelius believed that life is a system of harmony, that even chaos plays its part in the order of things. So when betrayal happens, the Stoic doesn't say, "Why me?" He says, so this too is part of my training. Because everything that happens for your growth if you allow it to. Maybe that betrayal was meant to redirect you. Maybe it was meant to reveal your strength. Maybe it was meant to cut away what no longer served your evolution. When you trust that even betrayal can serve your destiny, you stop fighting reality. You start flowing with it. That's the Stoic secret: surrender without submission, acceptance without defeat. You rise not because it didn't hurt, but because you've learned the art of turning wounds into wisdom.
Section 8. The Stoic conclusion: becoming untouchable.
Let them talk. Let them lie. Let them twist your story to make themselves feel right. The Stoic doesn't chase truth. He embodies it. Time will reveal everything. And when it does, you'll be exactly where you're meant to be: calm, successful, and at peace. They'll look at you one day and realize their betrayal didn't break you, it built you. Their lies didn't destroy your reputation, they revealed your integrity. Their departure didn't end your story, it started a better one. Because you learned the most powerful truth of all. Peace is not the absence of betrayal, it's the mastery of response. You learned to expect human nature. You learned to turn pain into wisdom. You learned to release and let go. And in doing so, you became untouchable. If you're watching this and you've been betrayed by a friend, a lover, a family member, I want you to remember something. You are not what they did to you. You are what you chose to become after it. The Stoic doesn't seek revenge. He seeks peace. He doesn't fight to be understood. He simply lives so truthfully that no lie can stand against him. So when betrayal tries to drag you down, stand tall, breathe deeply, and whisper to yourself, I release you. I rise. Because this chapter, this pain is not the end of your story. It's the start of your strength. Now take a moment, look within, and if this message resonated with you, don't keep it to yourself. Someone out there needs it. Someone who's hurting like you once did. Share this video with them.
Be the reason someone else finds calm. And if you're walking your own Stoic path, if you're learning to master your emotions, control your reactions, and live with calm dignity, subscribe to this channel. Join this growing community of calm minds, wise souls, and unbreakable spirits. Because here, we don't escape life, we face it, fearlessly, together. And every time betrayal knocks, we respond not with anger, but with peace. Because the Stoic knows, betrayal is not the end. It's the beginning of wisdom.